You walk into a room, you smile, you try to say the right things, but somehow the conversation dies. People's eyes glaze over, they check their phones, and you're left wondering what you did wrong. Meanwhile, there's that one person across the room who seems to light up every face they talk to. People lean in, they laugh, they remember them. What do they have that you don't? Is it charisma, confidence, good looks? No, it's something far more powerful and far more learnable. It's the psychology of likability, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to become the person everyone wants to be around. Here's what you don't realize. Likability isn't about being the funniest, the smartest, or the most attractive person in the room. It's about triggering very specific psychological responses in other people's brains. Responses that happen beneath their conscious awareness. Responses that make them feel good around you without knowing why. The people who master this don't rely on luck or natural charm. They use 6 psychological principles that researchers have studied for decades. And the most fascinating part? These principles work on everyone, including you right now as you watch this video. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the reciprocity trigger that makes people instantly warm to you, the name technique that creates an invisible bond, and the vulnerability secret that turns strangers into allies. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding the human operating system. And once you see how it works, you'll never walk into a room feeling invisible again. Let's start with the foundation. In the 1960s, psychologist Robert Cialdini began studying why some people could influence others so effortlessly. He discovered something remarkable. Human beings are hardwired with automatic response patterns. When certain psychological buttons are pressed, we respond predictably, almost robotically. Think of it like this. Your brain is like a smartphone. It has apps running in the background that you don't even notice. These apps process social information and make snap judgments about people. Is this person safe? Do they respect me? Can I trust them? These judgments happen in milliseconds, long before your conscious mind catches up. And here's the key insight that changes everything. The people who seem naturally likable aren't lucky. They've simply learned, consciously or unconsciously, how to trigger the right apps in other people's brains. They know which buttons to press. And today, you're going to learn the same code. The first psychological trick is called the Reciprocity Effect, and it's one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. Here's how it works. When someone does something for you, your brain creates an automatic psychological debt. You feel obligated to return the favor. This isn't conscious. It's hardwired into our survival programming from thousands of years of evolution. Early humans who reciprocated helped survived. Those who didn't were cast out of the tribe. So your brain still carries this ancient software. Now here's where it gets interesting. The reciprocity effect doesn't require big gestures. Small acts trigger it just as powerfully. A genuine compliment. A piece of helpful information. Holding the door. Remembering something they mentioned last time. These micro-investments create micro-debts. And when someone owes you psychologically, even in tiny ways, they like you more. Their brain associates you with positive feelings. Let me give you a real example. Imagine you meet someone at a networking event. Most people immediately launch into their elevator pitch trying to impress. But you do something different. You notice they're holding a coffee cup from a specific cafe. You say, "Oh, you go to Blue Bottle? They have incredible pour-over. Have you tried their Ethiopian blend?" You've just given them something, validation of their choice, a moment of shared interest, a topic they enjoy. Their brain registers this as a small gift. Now they feel slightly obligated to engage with you. Not in a manipulative way, but in a natural human way. This is how likability begins, with tiny deposits into the psychological bank account. And here's the secret most people miss. The reciprocity effect works even better when you give first without expecting anything in return. Because when you offer value freely, people sense your authenticity. And authenticity is the currency of genuine connection. The second trick is so simple it sounds almost stupid, but neuroscience proves it's devastatingly effective. It's the name technique. Dale Carnegie wrote about it decades ago, and modern brain imaging confirms why it works. When someone hears their own name, their brain lights up. Specifically, the medial prefrontal cortex, the part associated with self-referential processing, activates. In simpler terms, hearing your name triggers a small dopamine hit. It makes you feel seen, important, valued. And when you make someone feel that way, they associate those positive feelings with you. So here's how you use this. When someone introduces themselves, don't just nod. Repeat their name immediately. Sarah, great to meet you. Use it naturally during the conversation. Not every sentence. That feels forced, but strategically. That's a great point, Sarah. Sarah, I'd love to hear more about that. When you leave, use it again. Sarah, this was really enjoyable. Let's stay in touch. What you've done is create multiple dopamine micro-hits associated with your presence. Sarah's brain now links talking with you to feeling valued. And that is the beginning of likability. But there's a deeper layer here. Using someone's name correctly shows you're paying attention. In a world where everyone is distracted, half-present, scrolling through their mental to-do list during conversations, being fully present is rare. It's magnetic. People crave being truly seen. And something as simple as remembering and using their name signals that you see them. Not as a networking opportunity or a transaction, but as a human being worthy of your full attention. This subtle shift changes everything. The third psychological trick is one most people get backwards. It's called strategic vulnerability. Here's what most people think. To be liked, you need to appear perfect, successful, and confident. Show no weakness. Project strength. But psychological research reveals the opposite is true. A phenomenon called the pratfall effect shows that people actually like you more when you reveal small imperfections. Why? Because perfection is intimidating. It creates distance. When you're flawless, people feel they can't relate to you. You're on a pedestal, untouchable. But when you show a small vulnerability, something changes in their brain. You become human, relatable, safe. Suddenly, they can connect with you because they see themselves in your struggle. Let me show you how this works in real conversation. Imagine someone asks how your week has been. The perfection approach says, great, everything's amazing. But this creates no connection. It's a wall. Now try the strategic vulnerability approach. Honestly, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I've been working on this project that's exciting, but also kind of terrifying because I'm pushing into territory I haven't explored before. How about you? Notice what just happened. You revealed a small struggle, but you framed it with growth. You didn't dump trauma or complain endlessly. You opened a window into your real experience. And that invitation creates connection. The other person's brain relaxes. They think, oh, they're real. I can be real too. And suddenly, the conversation deepens. The key word here is strategic. You're not oversharing. You're not making yourself look incompetent. You're revealing enough humanity to build a bridge. Research by Brené Brown on vulnerability confirms this. People trust and like those who dare to be authentic. But there's a balance. Too much vulnerability too soon feels like emotional dumping. Too little feels like a wall. The sweet spot is sharing struggles you're actively working through, paired with curiosity about their experience. This creates mutual understanding. And understanding is the foundation of genuine likability. The fourth trick is what I call the curiosity gap, and it's based on the psychological principle of open loops. Your brain hates unfinished stories. When you hear the beginning of a narrative but not the end, your mind obsesses over the missing piece. Filmmakers and novelists use this constantly. It's why cliffhangers work, and you can use this same mechanism in conversation to make people want to keep talking to you. Here's how. When you're talking with someone, don't give away everything at once. Drop intriguing hints. Plant seeds of curiosity. Then let them ask you to elaborate. For example, instead of saying, I'm a software engineer and I build apps, you might say, I'm working on a project right now that's basically trying to solve a problem that's frustrated me for years. Pause. Let them feel the gap. Most of the time, they'll ask, oh really? What kind of problem? Now you have their genuine interest. They're leaning in, not out. You've activated their curiosity. But here's where most people mess this up. They use the curiosity gap as a manipulation tactic to brag or seem important. That's not the goal. The goal is to create genuine engagement. You want them to want to know more because they're actually interested, not because you're dangling status symbols. So when you open a loop, make it about something genuinely interesting or meaningful to you. Your passion project, a lesson you learned, a challenge you're facing. This authenticity keeps the technique from feeling slimy. And here's the bonus effect. When someone asks you to elaborate, it signals to your brain that they value what you have to say. This makes you feel good, which makes you more engaged, which creates a positive feedback loop. Both people feel valued. That's the magic of true connection. The fifth psychological trick is possibly the most powerful, yet the most ignored. It's called active listening with validation. Most people think listening means staying quiet while the other person talks. But that's passive hearing, not active listening. Active listening is when you hear not just the words, but the emotion and meaning behind them. And then, crucially, you reflect that understanding back. Let me break down why this is so powerful neurologically. When you speak and someone truly understands you, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This is the same chemical released during hugs, during trust-building moments, during deep connection. When someone validates your experience, you feel seen at a profound level. And that feeling creates an almost instant bond. So how do you do this practically? When someone shares something with you, don't immediately jump to your own story or advice. Pause. Reflect back what you heard, with the emotional layer included. For example, if someone says, "I've been working on this project for months, and it's finally coming together," most people respond with, "That's great," or immediately share their own project. But active listening with validation sounds like this. It sounds like you've been putting in serious work, and there's probably a mix of relief and excitement now that you're seeing results. What's been the hardest part? Notice what happened. You acknowledged the effort, the emotion, and then showed curiosity about their experience. Their brain registers that you get it. You're not just waiting for your turn to talk, you're genuinely interested in them. And this is incredibly rare. Most conversations are just two people taking turns waiting to speak. When you break that pattern, you become unforgettable. The validation part is critical. You're not agreeing with everything they say. You're validating that their experience is real and makes sense. There's a huge difference. Validation says, "I hear you and your feelings are legitimate." It doesn't mean, "You're right about everything." This distinction allows you to connect deeply even when you disagree on specifics, because you're connecting at the human level, not the opinion level. And humans crave being understood far more than they crave being agreed with. The sixth and final psychological trick is the Similarity Principle, and it's rooted in one of the deepest patterns in human psychology. We like people who are like us. This isn't shallow, it's evolutionary. Early humans survived by forming tight-knit tribes. Those who were similar in values, behaviors, and beliefs were safe. Those who were different were potential threats. Your brain still uses this ancient software to make quick judgments. Is this person part of my tribe or not? And here's the fascinating part. Your brain looks for similarity cues constantly. The way someone dresses, the words they use, their body language, their interests. Even tiny similarities create a sense of connection. Researchers call this the similarity attraction effect, and studies show it influences everything from friendships to hiring decisions to romantic attraction. So how do you ethically use this? You find genuine common ground and highlight it. Not by lying or pretending to be someone you're not, but by discovering the real overlaps that exist between you and the other person. Maybe you both grew up in small towns. Maybe you both love a specific genre of music. Maybe you both struggle with the same work challenge. Maybe you both value creativity over routine. When you discover these similarities, name them. "Oh, you're an early riser too? I feel like I get my best thinking done in the morning before the world wakes up." That simple acknowledgement creates a micro-bond. Their brain registers, "This person is like me. This person is safe. This person gets it." And suddenly, likability increases. But here's the advanced move. You can also create similarity through mirroring. Not in a creepy, robotic way, but naturally. If someone speaks slowly and thoughtfully, you slow down your pace. If they're energetic and expressive, you bring more energy. If they lean forward, you lean forward slightly. This isn't manipulation. It's called rapport building, and therapists, negotiators, and master communicators use it constantly. When your body language and communication style subtly match someone else's, their unconscious brain interprets it as, "This person is on my wavelength." And that feeling of being on the same wavelength is what we call chemistry. It's not magic. It's mirroring done right. Now let's pause and talk about what happens when you don't understand these principles. When you walk through life without this psychological awareness, connection feels random. Some people like you, some don't. You can't figure out why. You blame your personality, your looks, your background. You start to believe you're just not a people person. And this belief creates a painful cycle. You become more guarded, more anxious in social situations, less willing to put yourself out there. Your self-esteem erodes. And ironically, this makes you even less likable because people sense the anxiety and guardedness. They mirror it back. The gap widens. I've seen people spend years, even decades, trapped in this cycle. Intelligent, kind, talented people who simply never learned the invisible rules of social connection. And it costs them. Professionally, they get overlooked for opportunities that go to more charismatic colleagues. Personally, they feel lonely even in crowded rooms. The weight of this invisible struggle is exhausting. And the tragedy is, it's completely unnecessary. Because likability is a skill, not a genetic trait. Here's the framework for putting all 6 tricks together into a practical system I call the connection code. Think of it as your step-by-step process for any social interaction. Step 1. Give first. Enter every interaction looking for a small way to add value through the reciprocity effect. A compliment, useful information, genuine interest, anything that creates a positive deposit. Step 2. Use their name. Within the first minute, repeat their name and use it naturally throughout. This activates the self-referential processing that makes them feel valued. Step 3. Reveal strategically. Find one small moment to share an authentic struggle or imperfection. This humanizes you and invites deeper connection. Step 4. Create curiosity. Don't give your entire life story. Leave intriguing gaps that make them want to know more. This keeps engagement high. Step 5. Listen actively. When they speak, reflect back the emotional content and ask deeper questions. This makes them feel truly heard. Step 6. Find common ground. Look for similarities in values, experiences, or interests, and highlight them naturally. This triggers the tribal bonding response. When you use these 6 steps in sequence, something remarkable happens. The other person walks away from the conversation feeling good, and they don't quite know why. They just know they enjoyed talking to you. They feel understood, valued, and connected. And that feeling, that's what likability is built from. Not from being the most impressive person in the room, but from making others feel impressive when they're with you. Let's quickly recap the transformation you're making. Before this video, social connection might have felt like a mystery. Some people had it, some didn't. You were flying blind, hoping for the best. But now, you understand the psychological operating system. You know about reciprocity, the power of names, strategic vulnerability, curiosity gaps, active listening, and similarity. These aren't manipulation tactics. They're connection accelerators based on how human brains actually work. And the most important shift is this. You're no longer hoping people will like you. You're creating the conditions that make likability inevitable. That's the difference between waiting for magic and understanding the science. If you want to master the hidden psychology that shapes human behavior, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, I break down one psychological principle that will change how you see yourself and the people around you. And here's my question for you. Which of these 6 tricks surprised you the most? Have you ever used any of them without realizing it? Drop your story in the comments. When you share your experience, you help someone else realize they're not alone in this journey. And if you want to go even deeper into the psychology of influence, check out my video on reading body language. It's the perfect next step in becoming someone